Bonsoir. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen who are watching. I welcome you to my YouTube page. I'm called Thomas Mjisha, and I'm a professional medical clinic officer with interest in clinical philosophy, and then an aspirant or a potential clinical gerontologist. By your prayers, we shall get there. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I wish to bring to us the notion gerontology, and I want to make an understanding of what gerontology is, and perhaps bring it into the Ugandan context. Note that I'm a student of a master's in mental health counseling psychology in Uganda Matters University in the branch of Rubaga. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me identify what gerontology is. By definition, well, this is the study of aging and the older adults. So the aging process, and that is the life of the older adults. And I'm saying it is an interdisciplinary field. What do I mean by interdisciplinary field? It means that we bring in the branches of biology, we bring the branches of psychology, branches of sociology, and all these come into play for us to appreciate the process of aging within the older adults. Ladies and gentlemen, the gerontology has got its own key concepts, and these concepts will help us appreciate what gerontology is and bring it into the Ugandan context. Number one is aging, the concept of aging. Two is ageism. And when it comes to that ending ism, it brings us to the negative appreciation of that we are talking about. So if aging is what is, then ageism is the negative aspect of that aging. We shall try to make definitions of each of these terms, ladies and gentlemen. Number three of the key concepts is the gerotranscendence. And then number four is the successful aging. Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate each of these concepts. What is aging? Aging is a natural process with characteristics that are physical, cognitive, and social changes. So we see changes in physicality, changes in cognition, and changes in the social dimensions of a person. And then, what is the gerotranscendence? And I'm saying this gerotranscendence is just a theory that describes the process of older adults and how they find meaning and new purpose in their lives. So they are aging. What is that? A theory that helps them find new meaning and purpose of their aging moments and of their lives in their aging times. And what is successful aging? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a concept that emphasizes the importance of maintaining the physical, cognitive, and the social functionality or engagements within any society, with an aim of keeping productive in any society that these older adults are living in. Ladies and gentlemen, for ageism, it is also another concept that brings about the form of discrimination that these older adults face, which can perpetuate their feelings of self-hate, the prejudices and the prejudgments that are made to them, and all these decline their social engagements. They decline their morale of living with purpose and meaning. Ladies and gentlemen, these can be negative stereotypes that we attach onto old people, may be brought in by virtue of our cultures or by virtue of our modernity and the new realities that we are living in. Allow me to take us through the theories of aging and perhaps the proponents of these theories. Gerontology brings us some theories, and we have theory number one of aging can be the disengagement theory. And this is a theory that was brought about by a gentleman called Ellen Cumming, C-U-M-M-I-N-G, Cumming, in the 1960s, and with a collaboration of Williams Henry in the same year. And what does this disengagement theory propose? It's against that the older adults, as they age, they go into a gradual disengagement from their social roles and relationships. And this is exactly what happens as one ages. But then there's also an activity theory, number two, that was proposed by this Ruth Albrecht and then Robert Havingshurst. Havingshurst. It's a tough name. Well, for Robert, this is Robert of 1963 and Ruth of 1953. What does the activity theory propose? It proposes that older adults should remain engaged in activities within our societies, playing some societal roles, and being able to maintain their sense of purpose. And this will bring about their fulfillment despite their aging periods. So activity theory. Then theory number 3 is the continuity theory that is proposed to us by Robert Atshiley in the 1971. What does this Robert propose to us in the continuity theory? It emphasizes the importance of an older person, adult, continuing with the usual experiences, living the experiences and the activities that has been doing in a continuity, and then the consistency in this will bring about the essence and the sense of self-identity and well-being. So continuity theory, continuation of living that lived past experiences and being able to be consistent in that so as to bring about the fulfillment and well-being. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me speak something about the biological aspects of aging. There are so many, I will not go much into the details, but biological aspects, we are looking at there are changes that happen to the lives of these older people as they age. Number one, it is the physiological changes. What is these physiological changes? These are changes in the functionality of the body structures. Yes, and we can look at the muscles. What is the integrity of the muscles? What is the tone? What is the the intensity, the density? All this and the cardiovascular health. These changes in the physiological aspects of a person, they exist in the biological aspects of aging. Number 2 is the cognitive changes, and then we have the chronic diseases. Our old people, they are more at risk of suffering these chronics, call it hypertension, call it diabetes, call it dementia, and all those. The cognitive changes, these can be issues of memory loss, loss in the impaired executive functions, capacity to think, capacity to reason, capacity to remember, reminiscence, all these are in a decline. Ladies and gentlemen, allow us go through other forms of the psychosocial aspects of aging. And I see, given the moments of time, but when we come to the psychosocial, this is the psych and the social aspects of an older person as the aging process goes on. Number one is the social support. What are the social networks these older people have within their environs, within the neighbors, within their communities? Two is the coping mechanisms. Here we look at what are those capacities of them to leave their stresses or to do without the stresses, being able to cope with the problems and the emotions that come along way their aging processes and periods. So this is what we are looking at. And then the mental health, what is happening within their psyche, what is happening within their memory, and all this, we look at the prevalence of these anxieties, mental illness, disorders, and all that. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me come to the end of this presentation and say this is presentation number A for this year 2025. Now I'm going to bring all this understanding we have made into the Ugandan context. What is happening in the Ugandan context in as far as the old person is concerned. Don't go away. Keep together with Thomas Mugisha, and we are going to episode number 2 of appreciating gerontology, care for the elderly, or learning about aging and the older person within the Ugandan context. Thank you, and keep alert and keep watching. Blessings and peace.